and welcome to the Espace Tricot podcast.
I'm Stephanie.
I'm Naomi, and we are a yarn store in Montreal. And this is our first podcast episode since we took a little break for the summer, but it is the perfect time because there is a crisp tinge of fall in the air today.
I think that's exactly what I woke up and I was like, ooh, it's crispy.
I know, I went out to the pharmacy early and I was like, it's chilly.
I know, it's definitely sweater weather. We're so excited to get all our woolies back out. Yeah, I think we're actually both wearing kind of a similar weight sweater.
Similarly,
yeah. You can tell what the day is like by how we're dressed.
Yes. I am wearing, do you want to launch right in with that or?
No, I want to start with with the big news. We have two big newses. One is personal, one is more business-like, but I think let's start with the personal one.
So actually we had a visitor come see us this summer who guessed last podcast. So I'm wondering if anyone else out there had guessed, but I am having a baby and he is due in mid-October. So I am wearing a larger sweater than my sweater wardrobe.
Are you going to do a little twirl?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Oh, excuse the noise of the chest.
Okay,
Yes.
can you stand with your back to the camera for a second? I just want to, you can't even tell. Okay, now you can turn around.
Surprise! Yes, so that's been something that's been growing all summer and has definitely affected my hand knit wardrobe. So I have some things to say about that,
yes,
as well as baby knits. But we're not going to take up the whole podcast just with that. It'll just be peppered through as we go through.
But it's been funny because we've been filming and talking about whips, and I'm always like, "There's another whip."
I guess that's that's often how people present it, and I'm always just like, is it unoriginal to do that? But then whenever I see
it's such a good joke.
It's such a good joke. Whenever anyone else does it, I'm like, oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
So yes, I have a whip en cours in progress.
And going to be fully baked pretty soon.
Pretty soon, due right after Thanksgiving here in Canada, mid-October. So I'll be around for about the next month. Talk about the perfect job to be 8 months pregnant for.
Yes.
It's just been such a pleasure and a privilege to have a great team who's really taken on a lot of the literal heavy lifting when we get deliveries. But also I've had lots of chances to just sort of sit down and head out early if I need, and just to still be able to just generally be around, and seeing everybody and getting all of your lovely warm wishes has just been the sweetest, most uplifting thing.
Yay, I'm so glad. It does feel like it's the store baby a little bit. I know you think it's your baby.
I'm utterly spoiled,
but we think it's our baby. So that's obviously really wonderful and exciting news. And I'm glad you got to do that news, because here's the other news. So if you're one of our American customers, you probably maybe already know this, but at the moment we are not shipping to the United States. So for those of you who are in the States and watching the podcast and who like to use it as shopping inspiration, unfortunately this time it's really just going to have to be more like making inspiration. We're hoping that this may change, but and I'm not going to get into all the details of why. I talked to the New York Times and I talked to CBC Radio here in Montreal about it. So, I'll link those two stories, although I think you have to have a subscription to the New York Times to read that particular story. But there's a bunch of other ones as well. If you're curious about why Canadian shops are some are not shipping to the US right now, I'm not going to get all into it. Just certainly say it's not like revenge, which like some YouTube videos are like, Canadians take revenge on Trump's America. And it's really not. It's logistics. Like, it's just the software that we use, this isn't ready. And I have heard horror stories of people going through all the trouble of figuring it out, and then their package gets to the border and gets refused and gets sent back. So until we stop hearing about that, we're just going to take a little pause. But obviously our digital stuff is available still. All our patterns on Ravelry are still available. So, if you're inclined to show us a little love by shopping our Ravelry shop, that would be amazing. And obviously when we have an update, we will give it. Anyway, so there you go. There's our big newses.
And we hope that the rest of the podcast will inspire your future projects from stash, or to treat yourself with a new little yarn purchase.
That's right. So now let's do what we're wearing.
What are we wearing? So, can I start?
Yes.
I am wearing probably my favorite new sweater of the summer in one of our absolute favorite new yarns, new to us yarns. This is the Celeste pullover by Petite Knit. And it, I think, was one of Petite Knit's first forays into color work, at least for adults, and beyond stripes. And I found it so fun to knit, just a geometric, fairly kind of repetitive color work. Simple too, like
it almost has a boho stickling vibe to it, right? Like it's just very geometric, and it's such a small scale that it almost reads as like mosaic or something. It's very beautiful.
Yeah,
not mosaic knitting. Sorry, I mean it meant more like or pointillism. There's something,
But it's a lot. It's a lot of 1x1 or like 3-in-1. You don't have to catch your floats. There's only 2 colors per row. Really lovely intro into color work. And what I love about it too, you may have noticed when I turned around earlier, is that it does have short row shaping, but after the yoke.
So down here.
Yeah. So the yoke continues. The color work starts seamlessly from the collar line.
Yeah.
And you don't get that wedge in the back that you sometimes get when designers add short rows before a color work motif. So I knit this in the Haynes Creek DK. We've talked about the Haynes Creek Aran and we have more to say on it in a second, but this is a new, we've had it through the summer, but brought it in before the summer, Gathering Yarn, a company out in Alberta. And they're doing fantastic things with really beautiful Peruvian wools. And this is 100% Highland wool, spun in Peru. And I pulled these colors because they are what I used. Was there one more? So when we brought the DK line in, Cindy and Roy, the lovely owners and operators of Gathering Yarn, sent these 4 colors as testers, and they instantly just fell together for me as a color work palette, and that's really what led to me choosing this pattern to knit with them, because it was magic. It's like 4 contrast colors and a main color. So I went with what Petite Knit did in her chart layout to sort of focus on like a light and a dark of a similar tone, and then 2 kind of jewel tone pops. So that's how, and I think we've talked about this before, how I like choosing my own palettes to replace color work if I'm not going with what the designer used, look at their shade range. Did they use tone on tone? Did they use contrasting? Did they use complementary colors like blue and orange or yellow and purple? And try to operate within see what they were doing in a color theory sense and
100%.
map that onto a different palette. So I thought that worked really well with this kind of random assortment, but lovely matched assortment.
Well, and I like also that
we sent.
In this design, this color work design, the main color is popping through in here. So that's always really nice because it's going to look unified with almost any main color that you choose. So, you know, in that classic Elizabeth Zimmerman way where she's like, look at your skirts and your pants and choose the color. This is a design that really lends itself to that because the main color is incorporated into the color work as well. Yeah,
and there I just went with the lighter main color because I wanted a lot of contrast because the main color comes up so regularly throughout the yoke. I had enough left from these 4 balls to knit myself another one if I want to knit another one for myself
with a different contrast, maybe
with a different contrast, maybe switch up the order a little bit. But it was the first knit in a while where I got to the end and I'm like, I could totally make another one of those again.
That's a nice feeling.
Yeah
yeah
So I knitted exactly as written. I used the Italian tubular cast on and bind off, which I thought, compared to my usual grafted sewn tubular bind off, I thought maybe wasn't really worth the fuss. But that's also just because I'm used to what I'm used to.
Yeah, and but also you're quite adept at that and you do it often.
Yeah.
So if you're switching out something that you have to read and follow versus something you're very good at. But if you mostly do what I do, which is like a regular old bind off, this is definitely nicer.
It's worth
really
it. And
beautiful.
I've just found, I think I have talked about this over the years, especially with a slimmer fit sleeve like this is, you want that elasticity that just doesn't come with a knitted bind off. Yeah. I also knit it to exactly the length and dimensions she gave, which is longer than my usual because you all know I love a crop, but actually very useful because it actually covers my belly.
Yeah, so it's like you were past Naomi, you can thank her for knitting it.
I was fully pregnant when I cast this on.
I know, but did you know how? Like, do you really know what it's going to be like? How long you're going to need it?
Had no idea what it would be like to have an extra.
Yeah, it's several inches of extra sort of circumference there.
Coming out, getting up for. I find if I'm I have to be careful when I'm at a counter or chopping things. Yeah. It starts to like hurt because I realize I'm like,
you're pushing against it. Yeah,
it's just volume there that I wasn't used to.
I can actually demonstrate exactly what you're talking about with this sweater.
Yes,
where I didn't
move on to what you're wearing.
I didn't do it, and this is as far as I can get the sleeve up, and I would love to be able to push it up more, but it would rip.
You got a lovely little bracelet length on that too, though. That's convenient. Yeah. So what is this?
Okay, so this is called the Burkhart sweater, and it's actually by me from a very long time ago. So long ago, I had to look up the name of the sweater to be able to say it on the podcast because I couldn't remember. So this is obviously like a negative ease circular yoke. It's in Ulysse, in the doré color, I think, on the top.
But you could do this also in Haynes Creek.
You absolutely could do it in Haynes Creek.
What's the gauge on that one?
This one is 24 stitches, so it's dense.
This is 20, which is on the lower end
of what this could
DK.
do. But
at least in colorway.
Absolutely. But it's funny because in a way they do look really similar.
Yeah, absolutely.
In terms of like, anyway. Mm-hmm. So the contrast in this was Spin Cycle that I managed to pick up in their like seconds sale at one point. Mm-hmm. But you could easily substitute Feederbrook. But yeah, I was inspired by 70s ceramics or 60s ceramics. So like this motif was literally from a mug that I found at the thrift.
I love that. Yeah.
And anyway, yeah, it's cool, but it's definitely. I think I even say on the pattern like may emphasize bust. You decide if that's something you want to do. In my case, I'm like, oh yeah, that's great. But it definitely where this color work placement creates an optical illusion. Yeah. But I like it.
And I think similarly, I'm wearing this with I think a bit less positive ease than recommended in the pattern, just because I've grown and I would have made this size for me pre all this, and I'm really happy to go back to it. But it does go to show that like less positive ease works. You don't have to put in.
Are we gonna bring back like regular ease?
Back, like,
are we bringing 2 inches of ease? Maybe even negative. I think this is probably 0, not negative.
Right.
Or it was 0 when I knit it. You can change, or you can change the ease on your sweater.
Yeah. That is why having some positive ease in your sweaters is a great thing, because it accommodates changing bodies.
That's true. Yeah. Anyway, so it's lovely that we both decided to wear a slightly slim fit.
Yeah.
Sort of sport gauge
This is
sweaters.
Borderline too warm for, I think it's like 17 degrees. And if I were outside, maybe it's warming up.
Just don't wear a jacket.
No, I don't need a jacket.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2 yarns we absolutely love. Ulysse being 100% merino is a little bit softer. It's a little bit airier.
Yeah, I mean, this is like next to skin. I'm wearing a little like camisole underneath it, but I'm happy that it's merino. It feels nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peruvian Highland wool, not quite as soft, but really just a classic wool. Like it's going to sit like you want it to in cables, in colorwork. Really,
it has a nice balance between sort of that crispy bite that you want from something so that the stitch has definition and that you can really see it, and softness that I feel it's just nicely spun where it's like you can get the softness, especially if you knit a little bit looser. But if you're looking for something that's going to last for eternity and show off your cables, both of the Haynes Creeks are really good.
We've had a few people asking for Peer Gynt from Sandnes just because it comes up in a lot of patterns. Again, petite knit patterns. And we often turn them to Double Sunday, which I'll talk about in a little bit in my whips, which is 100% merino. But this is actually going to be a little bit closer in drape, effect, hold, fabric, because it's woollier wool, or like a longer staple wool compared to merino. So yeah, if you see Peer Gynt in a pattern,
try the Haynes Creek.
Try the Haynes Creek. Similar price point too.
Yeah.
And it's an excellent price point.
Yeah.
Colours all behind me here. We've got some Ulysse. Oh, you can't see the Ulysse at the top, but it's on our website.
Yeah.
And Okay, so what is on your needles?
Well, actually, it's off my needles.
Okay.
But as of last night, so I kind of fell into another hobby. I don't even know what I was doing on Facebook Marketplace. I like disconnected my Facebook ages ago, and then I was like, oh.
Yeah, we're not even friends on Facebook.
I don't use it at all. But for some reason I logged in. I think I was looking for something for Owen. And then I don't know what happened. I put in knitting machine, and the next thing you know, I just bought a knitting machine. I bought what's called an LK100. It's a bulky weight, it's a worsted weight knitting machine, and I played around with that a little bit. And I was like, the problem with this knitting machine is that it's not big enough because it has 90 needles. It's called an LK100, but it has 90 needles. I was like, 90 needles at a worsted gauge, that's not enough for like a good drop shoulder. So then I started looking for another one, and I found another one. So I made those two into one big one. But that lady also had another knitting machine called an LK150 that's for more like DK gauges. So I bought that too. So I went from having no knitting machines to 3 knitting machines, or maybe 2.5 since I put 2 together, in the space of about 3 weeks.
Classic.
And it really is, as you know, because you've worked with them when you were doing your degree, not knitting. It's not hand knitting. It's a completely different hobby.
It's not knitting as you know it. It's a completely different pace, a completely different set of skills.
Yeah. So I'm learning. But one of the reasons I was interested in it is I just want to knit the yokes of sweaters by hand, and then I immediately want to just have the stockinette exist. And that's what I'm hoping I will get out of this machine. So I have.
It looks like
I've done it
super well.
So this is
amazing.
The Baccarat bank that I think I did show on a previous
because
episode,
when we were introducing Gepard Woolia.
Oh yeah, this is the Woolia. Yeah. So the top part of this, the color work, was done in the round, on my hand knitting needles.
Beautiful.
And then I put the different sections onto my beast, the doubled knitting machine, because it is more than 90 stitches. This is the front. So this section from sort of just below the red to this was done on the machine.
That transition is so smooth.
Well,
you won't be able to tell when you block.
Yeah, and so part of it is you have to match gauge. So I do there's a lot of swatching, guys. Mm-hmm. If you don't like swatching, this is not for you.
If you don't like swatching, don't get a knitting machine.
Yeah. And then so that's one of these is the thing.
Anyway. Oh, and that's a sleeve.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the next thing I have to do is I have to seam all this up. And then I have to add the ribbing. So what I don't have on these machines is a ribber, which is like a special thing that allows you to do ribbing. Like I said, a whole other hobby. Like it's just stockinette all the time. And also when you're working on it, you're seeing the reverse side. So you're looking at the wrong side of your work while you do it. You're constantly having to hang weights off things. Like tension is everything. I've learned that you're just constantly like, oh my God, is it heavy enough? So yeah, that's the idea. I will seam up these things and then add my ribbing and then pick up and rib my collar.
And that worked out really well.
Yeah. And so basically I would say that I did both bodies and both sleeves last night between 8 p.m. and 11 p.m. So in 3 hours, it went from being a yoke to being a sweater. Now,
it took you a while to get to the point where you were ready to do that on the sweater itself?
And I definitely did a couple of sort of projects that I don't think turned out very well and had some weird mistakes.
But that's the learning curve. We were talking about this last week. If I think about how many bungled, half-finished, or unsatisfactory sweaters I knit before I actually started knitting stuff like this that I actually want to wear and ends up in my wardrobe on heavy rotation, it was years before I was knitting sweaters that I actually wore.
Yeah. So in that sense, I'm happy to have something that's challenging me and making me. I'm watching videos. I'm discovering all kinds of new makers as well that are doing different things. And it just so happens that the School of Sweet Georgia, which is Felicia Lowe and the Sweet Georgia brand, have online classes, and she's kind of fallen hard into the LK150 at the same time.
Oh, cool. So I was seeing that she has knitting machine classes.
Yeah, so that's new to her too. So it's really fun to watch her taking Back Friday videos and see what she's doing. I may sign up for one of those courses if I find that I'm stumbling with some things. It's just nice to have those resources.
I think it is really worth it. I took a class at a local textile center when I got a domestic knitting machine for the first time, because you put all this investment into the machine and it's really worth getting a couple of hours of instruction into just to help you cut out a lot of trial
dumb
and error.
Mistakes, right? But I do have a finished one too that I will show when we do our finished objects, which is, it's fine. But I'll show you the mistakes on it. They're really interesting. They're very different than the mistakes you make as a hand knitter. Mm-hmm. So it's just, but anyway, you know me, lately I've kind of been looking for new challenges, and I feel like this is a really fun one, and it lets me knit some things that I don't usually like to knit, which is miles of stockinette.
Yeah. But can we keep talking just for a second more about how great Woolia is for the background?
Oh, yeah. This is an amazing.
This is a gorgeous yarn in color work, and this is 18 stitch.
I would say 17 actually. It's a little loose for the.
So you may remember this sweater because both of us have raved ever since we made them about our versions in llama tweed from Camerose.
I have a Noro version. I have a like, scrap yarn version. I've knit this sweater I think 5 times.
And I need another one because I've talked about my llama tweed one is my pajamas. It's what I put on when I can't face the day. It's just I was similarly to this one, how any colors you grab will fall into place and make it look amazing. Same goes for this design. It's just perfectly spaced. The scale is impeccable. I feel like I can rave about it because I didn't design it. So Steph's always being modest when she doesn't rave about how good this pattern is.
It's funny because I think both of the things I'm wearing actually come from this same place where I was very interested in 70s sort of colors and 70s shapes. And they're back, you know, I think that's part of it. It's very classic.
It really comes through. So I just love this pattern. It looks so different every time you make it, depending on the combination of colors. So we'll link it below and you can see all the different projects people have done in it, get inspired. But Woolia is
very
nice and cozy for this and just makes colorwork knitting easy.
Yeah.
So we're very happy with that.
Okay, so, but you have definitely more whips than I do.
Well, I have 2, and then I have
that's double what I have
at home that I haven't, that I won't admit to. Everybody's asking me, of course, Naomi, are you knitting for the baby? And yes, I've knit a few random things for the baby, but mostly what I've been doing is trying to get through my whips that are languishing for myself and some of my stash while I still have time to knit for myself. And I've been told that, you know, you can knit after the baby's born, but, you know, you never know what happens. So I'm just trying to, my version of nesting is
finish my whips. Yeah. Whatever it takes to stay motivated.
Having said that,
this is a baby knit.
This is a baby knit. This is a toddler knit. This is the Holger sweater by Petite Knit. It's in double Sunday at a DK weight gauge. I think it is also 20 stitches. Yeah, and I was inspired to cast this on specifically because our customer turned good friend, Drea Knits on Instagram, we'll link below, is doing a tiny sweaters knit along with Cassie, who
it's making Cassie
and myself, but like my personal account. Just sort of 3 friends with
all pregnant.
More
babies. Drea's pregnant. She's a new baby though.
Yeah. So basically we thought it would be fun to get together and make some tiny sweaters, and it's ballooned. A lot of people are joining us, which is a lot of fun. So I'll link the posts below if you are interested in seeing more about that knit along. And I will say that this didn't need a huge amount of motivation because it knits so fast.
And it's so cute. And so what are you going to do for your ribbing at the top here?
Well, the original pattern uses a 6th color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th color for the neckline. But I chose this to use up some stash and or leftovers, and of course needed to buy more yarn in order to be able to use my leftovers. Having said that, I think rather than buy a 6th color just for another inch of ribbing, I'm going to match the red.
I love that.
Yeah, and I think that's enough. I have been carrying this in a mustard golden yellow project bag and noticing how good that color would be, but Double Sunday doesn't really have one. So I think rather than force another color into the mix that isn't really singing to me, I'm gonna just go with this.
I love it.
And then I will have fewer leftovers.
Yep, and you could do a hat with what you have for leftovers.
So this is the kids version. This is going to be about a 1-year-old size, apparently. Really glad a creature this large isn't going to come out of me in 4 weeks. So I'll be tucking it away for a while. But I'm really loving knitting with the Double Sunday. It's great at this gauge. The pattern itself goes up 20 stitches?
20, yeah.
The pattern itself goes up to a young teen size, but the bust measurement on that is in the mid 30-inch range-ish. So maybe I'll just
do one for you.
If I return to my pre-everything bust size, maybe I'll just make another one matching for me. But then there are also an adult version, and then there's a baby set at 28 stitches, which I don't have time for that, even for a tiny little lap.
If you had a machine, you might.
Maybe this would be a good candidate for a machine because it is. You start at the back neck, you work the back with short rows, you pick up for each shoulder and knit down. So you could totally do the whole thing flat on a machine. Maybe I will think about that with my 2 machines that are gathering dust, which I should lend to you.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, that will be super fun. We'll see. I'm not 100% sure this is a phase that's going to stay.
Yeah, well,
we'll see what happens.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah.
And so, yes, we talked about Double Sunday before. It's a classic. I'm really enjoying it for baby knits.
All right here.
Yeah, gorgeous colors. Lots of fun to play with. And then my other whip wasn't even really a whip. This was tubing I cast it on before I went away for some family time at the cottage. It was really lovely holiday knitting.
Why doesn't that count as a whip?
Because it wasn't a whip from before, because I cast it on like so recently.
I think that's still a whip.
I don't know why. I mean, it's a whip for the podcast, but it's not like I'm clearing out my whips. Oh,
okay.
I totally cast it on since. Anyway.
Okay.
This is probably going to be a new design. We'll see if I can get it out before mat leave. In Trinity Cashmere from Yarn Citizen, and again, the third yarn we have from Gathering Yarn, the Farmer sock. So this is an alpaca wool blend with some nylon. It does really beautiful cozy cabin boot socks, 6-ply sock yarn, but with such a high natural fiber content too. Obviously, our first thought is sweaters, shawls, and it's beautiful for that. So, as ever, you could strand with mohair as well, but I do just love the sort of matte, softer fuzziness of this cashmere.
Yeah,
I love to sort of
different, isn't it?
A little bit of a mottled look together without being fully contrasting. So, why another top-down raglan design?
Indeed, why?
Why? I was looking at the Espace Tricot Oeuvre and thinking about filling in some gaps. There are quite a few sweaters in our collection at about a 21 stitch gauge in this boxy raglan style. I have previously designed the warm-up sweater, which has quite different raglan shaping from this. It's going to, the warm-up sweater has a deeper raglan because the increase ratio is a bit slower. But I was looking at that about 18 stitch gauge with stranded yarns, and but still maintaining sort of boxy silhouette of some of the other Espace Tricot patterns. So I sort of put that together and knitted it at a gauge.
And that means basically you can strand it, or you could knit it alone in worsted weight yarn. So like our Woolia, the Haynes Creek.
Even some of the DKs, like Jolly DK is beautiful at 18 stitches. I did the Trixie sweater at that gauge, and I did a folded neckline on this one, but I already have ideas of another neckline I want to include in this pattern. So I'm going to test knit the yoke again. This is sort of my proof of concept draft. Yep. And I would like to do that in Jolly, just because I have lots of leftovers that I can strike together and not break into new yarn and use stash to practice my draft sweaters. I sort of think of designing that way sometimes. But also because Jolly is so nice at 18 stitches. And speaking of, we have it behind me here. We have a bit more than this, but given that I'm taking a break and have been on a break a bit from dyeing recently, I stocked up through the spring doing as much as possible, and then it got really hot, and even though I could still lift a little bit, I was just too hot. So I've been taking a bit of a break from the dyeing over the summer, and so as I go into a very, very generous and fully supported mat leave.
Basically,
the one thing I'm not continuing is there's no more
if you want Jolly, get some Jolly, because the Jolly we have now is the Jolly we have until Naomi's mat leave is done. So you did an amazing job of giving us a huge quantity to go into the fall season with. I think we have every color right now, but certainly some are already. I'm like eyeing up the maraschino, being like, if I want that, I should probably grab it.
Yes.
But so yeah, if you have been wanting to try Jolly, or if you have projects in mind, now is the time to grab it. And hopefully it will be back when Naomi returns. But until then, what we've got is what we've got.
And in the meantime, also, if this pattern doesn't come out in time, I'm not rushing myself. Why would I rush myself? Trinity Cashmere and the Farmer at a gauge of 18, 19 stitches. Gorgeous, yummy, scrummy. Tons of patterns in that gauge range. Highly recommend you try this combination.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's so soft.
Yeah. And I can tell already, I won't try it on because I'm not that far past the armhole split, but it's going to have a really beautiful drape. Look at that. Yeah. Those are my whips.
Amazing. Love these
At least
whips.
the ones I will admit to. So let's move along to our finished objects. I've kind of just talked about mine. This is the sort of major store relevant one.
Well,
and me, so.
Later you've got another really good one coming up down here at the very end there. We'll come to this.
Thanks for the reminder.
Well, since the last podcast, I did finish my king salmon sweater.
This has been a hit.
I love it so much. So this is a Caitlin Hunter design. This is the original king salmon, which is in worsted weight.
Well.
And this is in the Haynes Creek worsted, or they call it Haynes Creek Aran, but it's definitely, I would consider it a worsted weight. So this was like definitely inspired by sort of a roots cabin sweater vibe, so I used this red accent, which is my addition, by putting that in the ribbing. So in the original pattern just calls for 2 colors, and it still looks great that way. Yeah. But I used this sort of marled tone as the main, this very sweatshirty kind of gray, and then the black charcoal for the fish.
And it really stands out. Like, seeing it from a couple feet distance, it's wild. It's fantastic. So I was a little skeptical, but it fully works.
And this is kind of where, I think this is when the machine knitting thing started, where I was like, as soon as I was done with the fish, I was like, oh no! And literally, I have to knit 3 inches. I was like, it'd be great if it could just be finished and I could make another one.
It is a deep yoke, and people have commented on that. That's the style of it. It has to be long to accommate. This is a king salmon. It's not like a wee little short salmon.
But the funny, she did release, Caitlin released a light version of it in fingering weight, so that the yoke ends a little bit less. But I just feel like I'm cool with this style. Like
it's a little swan show.
It's a little bit swan showy, but I think it really works with this style of sweater.
It's part of the style, yeah. It's part of the silhouette.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned the last time we were podcasting, like I'm just really digging where Caitlin's taking this big format color work that she's doing with the alpine bloom, like all these flower motifs, but then this as well, and the halibut sweater. I just think it's really fun to knit, and it doesn't look like anything else. Yeah. It's really fabulous to sort of follow along when you see a designer kind of, or any artist, right, where they find something and they start riffing on it, and you're like, this is amazing. Yeah. So,
and here we have like 3 colorwork yokes in frame right now.
Yeah, and they're all totally
different.
Yeah.
It's not just in terms of the motif, but also the approach, the structure, the placement, the scale. Totally. It's a pretty thrilling medium.
Yeah, I know. Make art.
The artistic medium of the colorwork yoke.
So with this sweater, I definitely see that I'll be wearing this almost as outerwear come the next few weeks, where it's like throw on a turtleneck underneath it. Yeah. It is quite warm.
Because this kind of silhouette, it's a little harder to toss a jacket over unless you have like a really oversized jacket, which I know you have a few. Yeah.
But it's warm too. Like worsted weight stranded is like.
Yeah.
Oh, and I used some ladderback jacquard in this, because there's some places where there's quite long floats in between, not super long, but
it is really worsted, so there are fewer stitches than if it were fingering weight. But it's beautiful.
But I wanted to show off my inside a little bit. Look at that!
Oh my goodness, that's like a photo negative. It's perfect.
Yeah. So Naomi taught me pretty much in like 5 minutes the ladderback jacquard technique. If you are curious about it, it's so easy.
Like back with the cast on.
Yeah, basically, and then it's just about moving your yarn out of the way to moving your other yarn to the front.
It's a lot of fun.
So you can Google that and find a lot of different sort of tutorials of that, if that's something that you're interested in. It's like, I don't know why I waited so long to learn it, because I feel like it's opened up a lot of possibilities of like sort of bigger designs, like the rug sweater and some of the unwind knitwear. Yeah. I'll go back to those now with more confidence.
As well, the first time I used it in this sweater was in the alpine bloom.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then I used it in a few self-drafted hats for getting some like
bigger
picture, like sort of
well, you did a Totoro
one. I did a Totoro hat, which was more like the chart I found online for it was like a scene rather than like a repeating motif. So I really needed that between the umbrella and he's holding his umbrella and he's got his old friends with him. So
yeah, it's a great technique, and not hard. I taught I'll get back to the cruise later. I'll get to the cruise later. I taught someone on the cruise how to do it in like this much time. Surprised. My other finished object is back to this machine knitting thing. Yeah. So I have one finished sweater that I'm really happy with that I did on the machine. So this is just a self-drafted and improvised raglan sweater.
Improvising on the machine, bold.
Well, I definitely learned that that's not the way to do it. Right. Like, I will not do that again. But I was just so eager to get going.
Yeah, of course.
So this is a couple balls of Noro that I had in my stash, Noro Curion. with also a ball and a half of Feisty Fibers, pure Canadian. So those are 115 gram.
Yes,
I think that's
really
they
good
really
yards.
go
Like
a long way.
240 yards on this like Aran weight yarn.
Yeah,
it goes a long way.
So actually, sorry, it's 4 balls of the Noro, I guess.
Because they're 50 grams.
Yeah, so it's there you go. But so I was going to tell you about the weird mistakes that happen on a machine that's different. So I have a really good example of that. I just saw it here. So one of the things that can happen is if your tension is not right, if you're not hanging enough weight off of your piece, is that the loop doesn't catch. And so you get tucked stitches, or what we would call like a slipped stitch almost.
Or like a knit one below.
Yeah. So in these stripes, that's like the worst thing because it's really, really visible. And I tried to duplicate stitch over it. And in fact, it made it worse because it's sort of a slip stitch. So there's nothing really to grab onto. Yeah. So it is an interesting thing to like, you kind of imagine that you're just going to be like, whoop, 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 whoop. But in fact, you pass the carriage and you have to really look at everything and make sure that they've all gone. And especially with this dark color, I missed a few as I was doing it. And so, I will definitely 100% wear this.
Yes.
But with the sense of like, that's my first, it feels like a first sweater all over again.
Right.
Yeah.
And this combination would be great for a first sweater, although unfortunately we've no longer
we have no more
Noro.
Yeah, it got delayed
but
too long.
We've got Feisty. We've talked about that before. I made the Donna Jenner sweater by Joanna Ang last year, and I love it still. I'll be wearing that.
There's another one.
For
right there.
The holiday season again.
Yeah. But like, it's not like, I'm not a perfectionist. So I'll wear this with great happiness, and I'll tell everybody about it and how they should get a machine and watch out for the weights and stuff. So it doesn't bother me. But
and when you are learning, it's worth taking a chance, even though you're going to make mistakes, on making a project that's actually going to motivate you to use that project to learn and to finish it. And this is why we often say, and in our beginner classes, we don't teach a scarf. If a scarf is going to motivate you, if you have an idea of the perfect long rectangle that you want to wear, then great, because that's going to motivate you to finish because you're going to be visualizing it and manifesting it for your wardrobe.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to make a scarf, you don't have to learn to knit by forcing yourself to make a scarf, because it's not going to be motivating you to finish it. And similarly, while you do need to swatch a lot if you have machines, I think jumping in and making a sweater and see how it goes is still a great way to approach it, because if you want a sweater, that's going to keep you going and motivate you to learn.
Well, I think another thing I have that is good to have is a willingness to rip.
Right.
Like if I decide that I'm not wearing that, I will rip it and do it again. Like I have no sort of like, oh no, all this labor, and especially on the machine, you're not like that. You're kind of like, sure, whatever, that took me 2 days. I'll take it out and do it again.
Get yourself a ball winder.
Oh, big time. Yeah. And you can't really do it from hand wound balls either. Like they jump all over the place. It has to be cakes or cones. Oh yeah, I'm learning so much about it. It's like I said, a whole different community. It's really fun. I'm on a Discord.
I had when I was machine knitting, and I'd love to get back to it, but I have more of these things than I need. I found randomly in Value Village equivalent it's a square of wood with a stick coming out, almost like a paper towel holder, but much shorter. So I'm like, what is this used for? Now it's used for holding cakes.
That makes so much sense.
Someone else saw it, and it was a bottle dryer from back when the milkman came around. Oh. So you put out your bottles on this thing. Mounted stick.
Because I have like for sewing, I have like a big thing for like the giant thread.
Oh yeah.
Thing. So it's like a big weighted thing with a metal loop. So I've been using that. Okay. But I only have one, and I'm often working with more than one yarn, so it's
I'll
good.
Bring these back and see if they're any use to you.
Anyways, super fun. I'm definitely enjoying myself, and now I'm actually producing sweaters again, because it's been forever since I finished anything, because everything I have on my hooks and needles also is like so long, like my giant crochet blanket project. Two of them. So it's just nice to feel like I can whip something up again.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah,
to finish something. Speaking of the thrill of finishing things, Steph reminded me I have 2 more FOs, which is a great chance to talk about a new yarn that we have in store for this cozy season, which is the Teddy Deer from Gepard. And this is the Polar Lua hat, which I knew that I wanted to cast on as soon as we got it into the store, because I know that the whole team and all of you are going to love it. and it turned out exactly as I hoped. So this is a design by Siri Nilsson, who is a new designer to me. I discovered her through this hat pattern while looking for projects to use with Teddy Dear. And it's just, I'm not going to be able to put it on for long because
I will wear it.
You want to wear it?
You do it first. Okay.
Okay. So this is a combination of a worsted weight held double. We used Haynes Creek Aran. You could use Gepard Woolia as well. And then the Teddy Dear, which is an all-natural wool and alpaca boucle. And while not as simple and smooth and easy to knit with as like a pure matte round spun yarn, it is the best boucle I've ever worked with in terms of it not catching too much on the needles. So this is a great pattern. It's top down, and she includes, if you have a different gauge from her, she includes, much like the Musselburgh hat by Isolde Teague, basically the measurements you need to get to, dependent on your gauge. And then the brim is this gorgeous triple folded in the Teddy Dear. So this, I think, is going to be about the warmest hat you could possibly hand knit. Here in Montreal, when it gets into the real cold of winter, hand knit hats often just actually don't cut it anymore. And we end up layering them under our hood or with earmuffs or with, realistically, a performance hat, because you just need that extra.
Something to cut the wind.
So it remains to be seen if this can handle like -40 and even colder temperatures, maybe wherever you are in Canada. But definitely this will get you further through the season than like your gorgeous little lacy DK concoction. There's room for every kind of knit hat here in Montreal.
And then what about these seams? How is that done?
These seams is done with crochet.
Oh,
yeah.
So you add that afterwards. Yeah. Okay.
So it really mimics that shearling hat look.
Can I put it on? Yes. I love it so much.
I think the only thing warmer than this hat would actually be the actual shearling ones, you know, like the sheepskin folded. But it mimics it really, really well. And the double, the worsted held double is
this
really
too.
Thick and insulating.
Oh, it's really good. I love it.
So that is a store sample, but it took me less than 24 hours. I think I cast on.
Yes, and you were back the next day with it.
The next day back with it. So,
and we do have some kits for this.
We have kits for it, and I'm very tempted to make another one myself. This is, I'll just show you the colors that I originally used, but we put together kits inspired by famous bears. So this one is Paddington, and then we've got
Fozzie,
which
has more of this color.
Yeah, and then Baloo is with gray, and
who's our other one? We have a fourth bear, Smokey the Bear.
Smokey the Bear.
With a dark brown
here.
Yeah. And
so we started out, whenever we bring in a new yarn line, we want to make sure it hits. So we were enthusiastic but a little conservative with our ordering on this. So we're running low, but we have lots of kits. We're running low on sweater quantities, but we'll be ordering again because it's just going so well. And we started out with the neutral colors, but there are some really fun, vibrant colors in this too. So have a look at the link online if this is something you want to try. And if you don't see the quantities that you need, shoot us an email, contact@espacetricot.com. We'd be more than happy. In fact, it really, really helps us when we're ordering to know what colors you're looking for and what quantities you might be looking for. And we'll make sure to order it for you if you want us to get hold of any.
Well, and also to say, we'll order it for you, but not in the sense that you have to buy it. But if you just let us know what you're looking for, it'll help guide our order. And then you're not obligated. It just helps us sort of figure it out. But we definitely want to do more. But and this is partly why.
This is what got me into this yarn. When we started ordering from Gepard, they have so many great yarn lines. It's hard to exactly know where to begin. But I thought I'd like to try the Teddy Dear, maybe bring it into the store. Are people really going to want to knit boucle? Is this a boucle that I can recommend knitting with? So I just grabbed a bag for a personal project and I made the Traveler Cardigan by Ozetta. And with a few modifications, because it was a personal project for me, and I'll link the Ravelry project below where I outline the modifications I did, mainly involving adding a collar and then making it wider because I wanted to make it wider. So I was going for a bomber jacket style, and I'm really happy with how it turned out.
It feels so good. Like I put it on for like 5 minutes and I did not want to take it off, and I need one immediately.
This is like, you know what I was thinking of? I was thinking of like cool, cozy, playful mum at the play park outfit. So I wanted this, I had the outfit vision, and I made the sweater work for me. So
I wanted to. I think I might want to do a big V-neck in it.
V-neck? Yeah,
like
maybe.
a big oversized V-neck sweater for me.
Cozy.
In the dark brown.
So I put on toggle sweaters to just get a little bit more of that outerwear.
It's so good.
Now I'm like, oops, why didn't I make pockets?
You could do patch.
I could do patch pockets after.
Do a patch pocket.
Yeah. So this took 9 balls. So we don't, I think like at least 9 to 10 for a sweater is probably where you'd need to get. It's about 870 yards, 87 yards a ball.
But let's talk price point. It's only $13.50 a ball.
Exactly.
So even if you're buying $14, $15 to make a sweater,
it's sweater pricing.
It's like, this is all natural yarn. Like it's one of the highest quality brands out there. Like when I think about it, yes, there's your time, but frankly, like you could not buy something of this quality for that price in a store.
Part of why I got into making this was sort of daydreaming ahead to my mum wardrobe, because I fully expect my style to change quite a lot, and I've been thinking a lot about that over the summer and how my hand knits play into that and what kind of projects I want to be casting on with a very much changing body and lifestyle. And I got looking into this kind of thing. Teddy jackets have been around in like trending in fast fashion for a couple of seasons now, and I didn't want plastic, and they were still
hundreds of dollars, I'm sure. Yeah.
So that's where this came from, and I think I was underestimating how great it would be as a sweater yarn. And there are lots of patterns that are starting to use it for sweaters, and this is a 13-14 stitch gauge. So even if you find patterns that aren't in boucle, if they're around that gauge, give it a try. And then we have a big yummy restock of Drops Air on the way. By the time you're watching this, it might have hit the shelves. We've talked about Drops Air many times before. It would be great for the traveler cardigan if you like that pattern. And then another big restock came in Malabrigo worsted, which is
Rios. Malabrigo worsted is a different one.
Right. It
is a worsted weight, but it's Malabrigo Rios.
Right. 100% merino?
Yep.
Yes. Machine washable. I'm definitely dreaming of baby knits in this. I already made a harvest cardigan for my nephew.
It's one of the most popular yarns in the world, so you probably already know it, but in case you don't, it's a hand-dyed, superwash merino. It's applied yarn, worsted weight. It's brilliant. This is the Pisces colorway, which we sold out of in about 4 seconds last time we got it.
It goes so fast. It's so beautiful.
So we brought in lots and lots of this color this time, and Amelia knit a sweater for her daughter in this that is like, you see it and you're like, yes, I'll take 6. Like it's just beautiful. So we're really happy to have a nice big restock of it, and there's some other colors actually on order as well. So we should be getting another restock of it too.
Yeah.
So it's really lovely to have. It's I'm also planning to try this on the machine. I think that would be very nice.
I'm sure it would knit beautifully on the machine, and it washes so well. Amelia says she's already put her kid's sweater through the wash 20 times or whatever. So we'll have a sample in store that has been
through
loved and washed and still pristine.
Lovely.
So I talked a little bit about some holiday knitting projects over the summer, but you were up to an even more exciting trip this summer, knitting related.
Yes. So I am recently returned from my knitting cruise on the Rhine River, which was originally supposed to be both of us.
Yeah.
But the way Naomi's pregnancy fell, just at the point when we were supposed to be leaving for Europe, she was on the edge of where they would really give you health insurance.
And I had to make the call back in April, and as a first timer, I didn't really know how I would feel. In the end, it's like I could have done that.
You could have done it,
but so there were good reasons why and everyone was so understanding and lovely about it. I felt bad to renege on a commitment, but especially one that
I had so many people on the boat to tell me how much they were hoping to meet you. I'm thinking of the lovely Naomi, who was another Naomi who was on the boat and was so friendly to me and was like, well, please give my best wish. Everyone was, but particularly there were a lot of people who were hoping to see you.
Oh, well.
But so I found myself
missed it, but
traveling alone, and I had some anxieties about it, but I will say, like, they're gone. Like, the experience of going on this trip was genuinely life-changing for me. I had been, like, you're about to start this, so, and I don't mean to scare you or anything, but, like, I've been a mom for 10 years, and, like, all this skill set of being on my own in the world got, like, put on the back burner while I became part of a unit. and built all these new skills around being a mom and a partner to you. And, you know, but like this very like, this life that's like here and this place. And so I was so nervous to go and travel by myself and travel in Europe. All things I did lots and lots and lots of when I was younger. And pretty much like as soon as the seal was broken on this old skill set, I like found myself again and like
fantastic
remembered how to move through the world and all these skills that I have, and the fact that like I'm a cool lady who can like find my way on a map. I can like get on a subway like anywhere in the world. And like all this anxiety that I've been carrying just melted away.
That's amazing.
And I ended up just having the time of my life on this trip.
I should definitely go on a cruise in 10 years is what I'm doing.
Yes, absolutely. But so I thought I would tell you guys a bit about I had never been on any kind of cruise whatsoever, let alone a river cruise. So I thought I would like give you guys a little bit of an update of what it was all about. Also because there's another one coming up, which I'm also going on alone without Naomi because she'll have a brand new baby. It's November 29th to December 6th. And there's still a few places left.
Can I bring a 5-week-old baby on?
It would be intense.
I don't know, because we have to share a room. So
yeah, it would be too intense. But there are still spots on this cruise. So I think if you're even thinking about something like this, if it's within your realm, I want to tell you, like, it was amazing. Like, amazing. Beyond my expectations. So
was it more amazing than having a baby?
No. No, it wasn't.
Okay.
So first of all, this is... these cruises, this one that I went on, the one I'm going on again in November on the Danube, organized by South Pacific Journeys, specifically Michelle. And so she's a travel expert. She's also a felter and a knitter, but she is a travel agent and with her own company for years. So she's not coming at this necessarily strictly from a knitting thing. She knows how to put together a travel experience.
You're just really selling it to me.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to sell them, not you. Shh, don't listen. So one of the things about you get on the boat and you get your room, for the whole boat is knitters. So some people were there with partners or with family that were not knitters, but I would say it was like 90% crafters, knitters, crocheters. So immediately, the fact that we had this whole boat to ourselves to just be our weird little selves, it was amazing. So like we're just talking to each other, sitting down at each other's tables. Oh, what are you working on? What's that project? So I really felt like it was almost like grown-up summer camp.
Fun.
But you had your room to go off to get your private time, but it was quite social. Yeah. Like you really were kind of like chatting with people all the time.
But then you don't have any sort of hesitancy about what are you going to talk about with people.
No, not at all. You always have something.
Passion and craft.
And I made friends that I think I'm going to have for life. But I also like got to know some of our people really well. I'm thinking of Leah. I'm thinking of Jill. I'm thinking of Catherine. Like I had such a great time. Naomi, who I mentioned, like so many people, but also met new people and that I think I'll probably know them forever. And I'll be able to be like, we met on a river cruise on the Rhine. But one of the things that was really surprising to me is that every night you go off to dinner and then you come back to your room and there's a present. What? There's a little present in your room. So one of the first nights we got this bag, which was designed, for us. And it has a zipper. It's a great bag. But of course we all had this bag. So we all started using this bag for our stuff. And then I kept picking up other people's bags. So I started embroidering on my bag with some spare yarn that I had. I'm still working on it. So I guess this technically is a whip. I'm hoping to finish it before the next one.
Oh, it's so pretty. Are they French knots?
Yes, there's some French knots and different stuff. Yes.
Ooh, it's like a sampler.
I showed this to Michelle, and we're going to put together something for the Danube cruise where we're going to do this on purpose. We'll have like a little kit so that people can do this as well. But then like another day, I came back to my room and found a beautiful copy of Patty Lyons' book. She was on the cruise with us and is going to be on the next one as well.
Okay, cool.
With this cute bag that says, make your stitches be your rhymes with stitches.
What?
Because she didn't want to use the B word. But I think you know what she's trying to say.
I get it. That's
so, like,
hilarious.
I think you're saying to yourself, oh, that's nice. Book, bag. Yeah. Well, another night, we came back to our room, and we had yarn.
What?
Oh, yeah. We had custom color from the Grocery Girls Spin Cycle yarn.
I don't think you even showed me this.
Oh, it's because I put it immediately in my stash. This is from the Cabin Boys. Cabin Boy Knits. This is beautiful. All using natural dyes, right? Beautiful. And then this one's from the Skein sisters in Australia, Deb and Janine. I loved meeting them. They're so wonderful. And then there was another skein actually from Leslie at Rosehaven Yarns, her hand-dyed line, but I gave it to you immediately because it was the right color for the bébé.
I did get that.
So just to say, like, you literally come back to your room and you have like a gift every night, and it's often yarn. And then there was also a yarn store on the boat.
Every boat needs a yarn store.
Yeah. So I bought these from Punk Rock Unicorn or Prue yarns. So the dyers from this were actually on the boat with us, hang out. So then every day they would go and man their shop, and then you could hang out with them and get to know them a little bit. So just while we were in Germany, because they're based in Germany. So then
I was going to say,
they were on the boat for a bit.
My yarn store owner brain immediately jumped to like,
how can you sell over
in another country, and like, what time of day do you cross the border? But it's Europe. There's no borders. It's amazing.
Yeah. But they got off before we went into Switzerland, I think.
Okay, that makes
sense. So basically, there's that element of it. The food was delicious. The outings were gorgeous, but it was the camaraderie, it was making friends, and the copious amounts of yarn. Like we went to yarns that were like outings to yarn stores. So like on other tours, you get to see cathedrals. We saw cathedrals, but we also went to the yarn stores in most cities.
And then you had a mimosa in a hot tub.
And then I had a mimosa in a hot tub. Oh, and I went to the drogerie in Strasbourg, and I bought these, and I made these earrings on the boat. Like, it was that kind of vibe where I'd be like, I'm going to make these earrings, everybody. Let's do this. It was just fabulous. Amazing. So if that sounds wonderful to you, and if you're like, maybe I should take advantage of Western civilization while it still exists, you should come on the Danube cruise with me, and we will have a wonderful time.
Which is also like Christmas market oriented.
Yes, we're going to Christmas markets. So it starts in Nuremberg and it ends in Budapest. So it goes down and we're stopping in Vienna and all these little, and they're all based around the Christmas markets. So I think it will be fabulous.
Lots of Glühwein.
Yes.
And more sweaters because it'll be colder.
That was the one thing. It was really tough to wear your knits, and I admire the people who did. But I admit I did not wear. I wore my my llama tweed Baccarat Bank a couple of times. It was a bit, a little bit, but mostly it was sort of, the earrings. I wore my handmade earrings to be like, I make things.
And you had your needle case.
I did bring my needle case with me. So this is something where if you are thinking about doing something like this or any other kind of knitting travel, I did have a checked bag. I don't know that I would. I don't know. You take your life in your hands, obviously, with a check bag as well. But this is my original knitting case that I designed and now redone in these fabrics for Espace Tricot.
So they're handmade for us exclusively in Bulgaria?
That's right. So I brought this with me, and then that way I didn't have to kind of pick all my projects before I went. I brought a bunch of projects with me. Some people who saw my video know that I brought 6 projects with me, none of which did I finish. But I had all the needles I needed conveniently in something this big, so it was like super easy, and I would carry it around with me even in my bag on the boat. And then if people were like, oh, I needed this needle or I need a crochet hook, I said, I have.
And I did the same on my trips. I wasn't going as far afield. I stayed in Canada, and I didn't fly, but I did take the insert that these are actually handmade by you.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, no. These were made by the beautiful people at
your beautiful leather
my
workshop.
leather workshop that closed during COVID.
So incredible craftsmanship made here in Montreal. And this one was perfect for me because I took a couple of sweater projects, and I knew that I would need my ribbing needles, I would need my magic loop for the cuffs, I would need shorter tips for the collar, etc. So I just loaded this up with specifically the tip sizes I needed, and then just to make sure I would have everything I needed, I bought my shorties, Chiaogu shorties, which outside of their plasticky envelope, actually, or even inside, fit in the middle perfectly. So this became my one-stop shop pouch for, also I had some TKB cords because I knew I was going to get to a sleeve split, or like knitter's cords to hold the sleeve stitches, and some scissors. And so this was all my notions and all my needles in one place while I was on holiday, which was real peace of mind, and I had everything to hand and did not need to go out and panic buy anything at the nearest local yarn store in our
Well, I mean, it's nice to go to the local yarn store. So there you go. This is definitely our last podcast while you are
before
you go on leave. Yes. So the next time you see Naomi, she will have a baby. I don't know when that will be. It will depend on how you feel.
I don't know if the baby will be on the podcast.
Yeah, no, I meant more you.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, the baby will exist.
Yes.
Out in the world.
Yeah. Someone will hold the baby.
Yeah.
While you podcast. I hope. So yeah, that's it. It's exciting, and we thank you for watching and for
Thank
being
you for joining us.
Yeah, part of our community. Thanks. Bye.
Happy knitting.